What would I do if I was to go back to Australia and start all over again as 19, 18 years old high school graduate, where you don't speak English, you don't have character, or you don't have personalities, and you really don't have that confidence in belief in yourself. Alright, so my name is Youngjin. I'm from Korea. I'm currently Australian citizen and I've lived in Australia for 13 years. I originally was born and raised in Korea, and then I moved to Australia, and then I settled in Australia. Now I am in Vietnam. I'm running my business in Australia and Vietnam, and now I can travel around the world as a business owner. So here I am making the video to help you, settle better in Australia. So if you're someone who wants to make the best out of living in Australia, I would really recommend you to watch this video, because in the last 13 years, I genuinely pushed really hard to get the best out of myself, including permanent residency, citizenship, my career, and my personal development. So I hope you find this video at an early age. If you're moving to a foreign country, even if it's not Australia, if you go to US, for example. So I'll share my experiences and lessons that I've learned to dive deeper into the society and become one of the members in the society, but at the same time make really deep, close, wide friends and people from all around the world, and then you go from there. So the first thing I'll do, if I was to go back to Australia in 2011 when I was 18 years old, I would literally do the same thing. I would really focus on building the experience for people. People skill is one of the most important skills we could have, and it's undervalued when it comes to especially people coming in Australia. You think making $40 or $50 working for a factory or working for a cotton gin or at a farm is good, at a mining company. Yes, it can be a good experience if you are really into and passionate into that field. But if you're really purely just point of view of trading your time to the money, I really suggest you to think again on what future you could hold by choosing the experience over the money now. So let's say, for example, option one that I took, which was I don't care about money right now. All I want is to build an experience and my ability to communicate. So that's what I focused on the first years. I got a job in English speaking job. I made English speaking friends. I made English speaking girlfriend. I watched all the English contents. I refused to stay with Korean friends as much as I could. Obviously at first it's very hard, but then gradually I transitioned from meeting Korean friends to more international friends, and then from there to Australian friends. It's often harder to meet Australian friends because they are they have their own bubble, or they don't seem to open up really well to welcome you into that group, because one, the English communication, and second, the cultural difference, and then the topics, that similarities, and also the interests and the things that you share. It's very hard to get along at very early stage. So rather focus more on being involved in more international, very diverse group. Then you can relate more based on the diversity of the group, and then you can develop your cultural adaptness, and then also the language learning skills, and then also communication skills. So I would focus on that environment building phase the most at the first stage, and then that would set you to become someone who can do more higher ability required jobs or positions or skills. So when you can speak English, for example, if you get into construction, or if you go back to mining or whatever, you have chance to go to in the management positions as a leader or someone higher up, because if you want to make more money, you always have to go up. And then if you need to go up, you basically need to manage the other people. But if you want to manage the other people, how can you manage other people without speaking their language? So yeah, priority is communications and language and your people skills, to either to persuade or either to lead them or either to make them as your friend or whatever it is. Master of a relationship would be like one of the most valuable skills you could have. So yeah, over the money, I would suggest you pick the experience, pick the language skills. All right, the second thing I would do as a 18 years old, I would really focus on developing self-awareness and pursuing my self-development and my passion. So at that age, a lot of the short-term pleasure-seeking activities are a huge temptation and big part of your life. For example, going to the club and drinking and trying to pursue a girl to have sex with them. But later you realize if you have great body and if you are a confident man or if you are a confident person and you have an amazing career and you are an amazing person or you have a business, you have a good ability or you make a good income, the better you are, the more attractive you become. So you don't really need to waste your time towards that to lose the opportunity of using that leverage. So if you are a man who wants to experience as much as you can, obviously try to learn to speak to girls, obviously try to speak to friends and make friends and experience as much as you can, but also more so priority should be focusing on building your skills and leveraging yourself to become someone who's better than yesterday. And number 3 is taking care of your body. Back then I didn't really realize. I started working out, going to the gym from 17 years old. I was 55 kilograms. I was extremely skinny, but now I am 75, ranging to 80 kilograms back and forth, and I'm maintaining. And what I've realized is that when you have built decent amount of physique, there's tremendous value you get every day from people you meet. I'm not even trying to impress people anymore. I'm not even wanting to impress anymore. I don't care whether they like me or whether they think I'm impressive or not impressive, or they don't think I'm not good enough or not worthy enough. I really genuinely don't care. But having the good body that you've built in over time, it seems they know. As you age, the more older you get, it seems they know. It's not just the looking good. I'm not working out to look good. I'm working out to make that as a discipline, as a promise that I made to myself. I'm keeping it as a healthy and disciplined as possible to do the things that I need to do. That's why I do training. Not like, I don't think that gets me a goal. It helps, but that's not the main driving factor. So when I have gotten to a certain point of the physique, is broad wide shoulders and feet, there's no fat, and then you can see the veins on the arms, and then it's like good build, especially some good amount of muscle mass on the legs, and then the good balance that you see the guy and then you feel like, oh, this guy doesn't, take easy or choose things for easy. They seem to know. The fat people or the people who are not taking care of their body, instantly they give you respect. They open their mind. They're more open towards you. They want to speak to you more. Or sometimes insecure people will be intimidated, but that's fine. You have your own leverage to lead them to be more open, and you hold the power more without even to open your mouth and prove yourself. So yeah, at some point I just stopped. I don't even need to explain myself, and I just do my thing, and then if they get to know me, they get to know me. If not, it doesn't need to be. I still have people that I like and respect and I need around me. I have friends that I can speak to for business, and I have mentors, and I have friends that I can have fun with. I have girlfriend that I could trust and build together and then work towards our dream together. And then I don't really need to prove myself and seek for approval from myself. And that's another thing that you should pursue. I just remember there's one last thing. There's really important thing. It's your in Australia they say seeking approval or being self-conscious. I think in Korea they say 시선의식. So in Korea, it's like huge culture is that one of the part of the huge culture is that you grow up being self-conscious, and it's too self-conscious of what the other people will think about you, and then that shift your mind and character towards being very bland, assimilating into society as just like one personality without having to really discover yourself and fully develop your character. So everyone similar, you know, like they act the same, they think the same, and they think I shouldn't do this because people are going to say this, people are going to say, think that I shouldn't pursue my goal, or I shouldn't fail, I shouldn't say all this. It doesn't really matter in Australia. Australia is like one of the most good place to practice not being self-conscious, because people don't really care and people value that. In Korea, they don't. It's very hard to not care of that. But you have to realize how much it's holding you back in terms of the life full potential you could reach out to. One of my students I had, she was 24. She was extremely good looking, and it was like a model art student. And she, at first when she came to me, her level of English was like intermediate, okay, like B1 level, CFR B1. IELTS maybe 5.0. So she could basically speak about the daily stuff and discuss simple things, but she can't discuss the more detailed topics. But then she can't get further with her English because she is so self-conscious. Whenever she meets people, she needs to speak, and she needs to be actively going out and meet people, make friends, and then make an environment, and then develop her communication skills in order to increase more chance to hear, speak, and then therefore her English goes up, and then her life quality goes up. Get a better job, get a better grade, get a better friends, get a boyfriend, or whatever, you know, like everything gets better incrementally. But when this is blocked, it just holds you down to, you know, it's stuck. You're not moving forward. So we really focused on, before we focused fully on English, we really focused on removing that self-consciousness. So without having to worry about other people and not being worried about being judged by the others, you do the things that you think you should be doing or you want to do, the passion and the desire that you have in your mind, and you put that work into yourself, and then doing the things that you really want to do without worrying about what the other people will think about you. You really need to develop this, and that will change your characteristics, that will change your personality. That's why you see there's big difference in people who really fully adapts into the Australian or English speaking society, like Western culture. They change their personality because they realize, okay, I don't like this part of Korea, and then I like where in Australia I can express myself more freely without having to worry about it. And then that is one of the most great things that could happen to you, because the options and then the choices you make is really for your life, not for someone else that you thought you care about, but nobody really care about, to be honest. You only care about yourself, nobody else. But if you're strangled with that idea of everyone is watching you and everyone is judging me, it's holding you down to not take the actions. And if you not take the action, you can never move forward fast, or you can never move forward with your life. You get to get stuck. So there are more things, but I think that was one of the most important things that came up to my mind. I hope this video was helpful. If you guys like the video, and then comment down what was really thoughtful or you liked it, and then I could just share more that maybe other lessons that I've learned along the way. Appreciate for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.